So yesterday when I came in, I thought like to speak on beyond boundaries and how you can break boundaries. But after coming here, I met friends of Christ University and found out that you guys are already beyond boundaries. And while talking to many of the friends and the students, a lot of question came in that how to build a startup from nothing. And I thought my journey and few experiences would be good enough to tell them like how you should start and how you should basically doesn't be afraid of taking a first step, because about starting a startup, actually the word itself means start up, so you need to get up and start it off, right? So I believe all of us at some point at in the life, we believe that we are shunya, which means zero. And I have believed myself as a shunya, and to whichever thing that I would add myself to, it will add value to the entire organization or to that project or to that startup. So, but I have been a continuous person, so that means nirantar. So nirantar means continuous. So started off my journey with a job at naukri.com, then joined a couple of more organizations, and eventually found a couple of partners to start off with my own startup. It was a edtech based startup in UAE, and it was a robotics learning, and we were also doing Olympiad championships and many things. But somehow in 2017, I found out that we have failed in our startup, and a lot of learnings has gained from there. Post to that, I joined OYO as in the expansion team and helped OYO in expanding to the Philippines market as head of marketing and special projects. COVID has hit us, travel industry got hit, and I came back to India, and that's when I joined PhysicsWala. When I joined PhysicsWala and closely worked with Alak sir and Pratik Bhai, who is the co-founder, I learned that the way PhysicsWala has been working for the betterment of the society, and at the democratic pricing that these guys have came up with to benefit the students sitting at the last mile of the country. I'll continue that further, but let's move on to the next slide. So about startup thing, there are two things around it. One is entrepreneur and another are entrepreneurs, right? So entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, probably you might have many friends around you who keep on talking to you about the ideas. Let's do this, let's do that. And after 6 months again, they are on the same page and they have not initiated anything. So that's what I feel the difference between entrepreneur and entrepreneur. So if you have got an idea and you keep on scratching your head around it, you will never be able to reach to that level where you started off. So an entrepreneur is someone who actually have the idea and start working on it from the day one. So anyone who wish to start off something, if you have got a great idea in your mind, just start it off next day. And I believe many of you would agree to this point that timing values more than idea. Each one of us, probably like we are smart people, each one of us get a new idea some other day, walking down the street, talking to the street vendor, or probably talking to our friends and trying to finding out the problem, right? And many a times we don't understand that how much the timing matters to it, right? Because timing to the startup matters in a way that if that idea is not clicking just into your mind and you are not starting it off, then you would not be able to get the first mover advantage. Bootstrap it. So anytime you have an idea, and especially young people who doesn't have deep pockets to invest and probably doesn't have that much probably like bandwidth or doesn't have that much connections to raise the seed funds or to raise the funding at the first go and bootstrap it. So that's couple of pictures from my own startup in UAE. So the first one is our Chinese friend who used to supply the robotics kits to us that we used to distribute to the students. And the second one, if you see that kit, that's a makeshift kit. So when we started our startup and providing the learnings to the students, mechanics learning. So it was so we were providing supplementary education to the students in schools. and we wanted to imbibe that learning of STEM education into them. So if you see that kit, that's a makeshift kit, and that has been built by ourselves only. So we got done injection molding of those kits, and got the tires from China and motors from Chandni Chowk in Delhi, and we took those kits to UAE. And later on, the picture at the right, sorry, picture at the left is a company in China that make bots. So make bots used to be like full-fledged robotic kits. So that's how you bootstrap it, you build traction around it, you get customer, you get some initial revenue, and then you take a leap to the next. This is something that I have always been telling people around me who are asking like what should be our strategy, or like why I should be building a startup, right? So money plays a very big role in our life, right? And whenever we are thinking to building a startup, for many people, money is an aspiration, and I differ to back that, because never build a startup to just exit. So exit is an exit strategy where you take the money from the VC and just sell your equity and shares and go away. Always have an intent to impact the society at large. So all of us, if I, so this is I was telling yesterday evening also to our friends, that we are privileged. We are privileged sitting among the smartest people in India or Bharat, right? And we are sitting in this AC room. But there's a lot more scope in India to work on different problems. So always think whenever you're building or when you're thinking of a startup or an idea, why you're doing it. Just to earn money, just to exit, or your intent is to create impact in the society at large. So I would like to connect this thing with Physics Wala. Probably like half of the people or majority of people here know what Physics Wala has done for the country. So today, Physics Wala is the largest Bharat's education platform. And I'm not sure if you have ever got a chance to go to our YouTube channel or not. You will see there are so many stories. Students from the far district of India, they are becoming doctors and engineers. And that's how we have enabled the market. And that's how we have changed the market. And we are the only edtech company who has become unicorn in the Maiden Fund. So Maiden Fund is the first seed, not seed funding, first series funding. So in Series A funding, we raised $100 million, and we gained the valuation of 1.1 billion. Now, after building the traction, so whenever you start a startup, you initially gain some customers. After that, sometime it do happens that you identify that probably this is not what is how I'm going to grow my business, right? That's where you should identify that strategy, where should I take my pivot. So usually there are four kinds of pivots, and I believe my friends in the front row would agree to this. So product pivot, market pivot, technology pivot, business model pivot. Following slides will help you understand what does it mean. So Twitter, if we talk about Twitter, everyone probably uses it today. Do you know Twitter started as a podcast network, right? They have started as a podcast network, and when this Apple iPod came into the play, they took over the podcast market. And then Twitter identified, dude, this is not going to work. We need to change our product line. And that's when they come into the what we use Twitter right now. Second story. Netflix has been delivering DVDs at a doorstep. So you order the DVDs and they will deliver at your doorstep. But when Netflix saw that there's a much of technological advancement in streaming services, they didn't took more than 6 months to just like take a pivot through the technology to provide the streaming services, and today it's one of the largest OTT network. Okay, interesting. We all use YouTube. How many of you know YouTube has started as a dating site, right? So it came into the competition like to the Facebook. So initial idea of Facebook was also to have a dating, like as a dating site, right? So YouTube also started as a dating site, but later on they identified that there is not much market for dating at that time. So they also pivot to streaming services through technology advancement. Oh, sorry, there's a word mistake on top of it. InMobi. I'm not sure how much you know about InMobi. So InMobi is one of the largest audience network today for the mobile marketing services. InMobi has started as a SMS service provider, like probably like many of you get those marketing text messages, right? So InMobi has started as a SMS service provider to the companies, and later on, when InMobi identified the huge opportunity of advertising business. So advertisement industry, if we talk about today, it's almost $1,800 billion industry, right? And that's how InMobi take a pivot through the market shift and as well as B2B to directly B2C. So they are serving B2B at the moment, but they are reaching to B2B directly at the moment. Next point, this is very interesting. So when we talk about startup, sometime for some businesses or some startups or some ideas, it's easy to go 0 to 1. But what takes it to go 1 to 100? So I'll again reiterate the story of Physics Wala. So when Physics Wala had the initial traction, our app got crashed as soon as it got launched. Later on, when Alak and Pratik identified that we have built it enough, now what should we do? They have brought right people into the system. So you don't just build the business, right? You build the people, and then those people build businesses for you. So I was also having a discussion yesterday with one of our colleague who has come as a speaker. So his business is doing good. He has generated the revenue of 5 CR, and he was asking me what should I do next. I just told him get the right people into your team because you have enough cash in your hand at the moment to hire at least a CTO, a chief operating officer to help you grow the business. So when you see that you have already got that kind of traction, that kind of revenue, just get the right people and build them, pass them the DNA that you have, why you are doing it, they will build the rest of the business for you. And that's where you go 0 to 1, sorry, 1 to 100. Acha, this is very interesting. So often, when I meet many friends across the universities and young people like you, they try to understand from us or probably like mentors like me that how should we go ahead. But and it's a very bitter truth. Mentors doesn't have time. If maybe it's your professor, maybe it's your direct colleague or the super senior or who is an alumni at the moment, they don't have the time. You have to buy it. And how you buy it? By doing the initial research of your business by yourself and asking the right problem statement whenever they are meeting you or giving you 5 minutes of their time. You can't just go and do an open discussion. Do research, go back to them with the right intent and the right question. They will surely help you out, and anyways, they will never have time for you, even if you pay them. And with this, I would also like to state that between entrepreneur and entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs are unstoppable, right? So so it's just like they probably like waking up 4 in the morning, sleeping at the ground. At the initial level, when we also started our journey of the startup, believe me, we used to stay in the office like 3, 4 at the night, and probably like sometimes we don't have like beds in our office to sleep off, so we just put the cartons from the boxes, and then we just used to sleep on it. So being unstoppable is something that entrepreneurs should keep within themselves. Along with that, I would also like to highlight failures. So failures are important part of the journey. So the more you will fail in initial phase of a career or a journey of a startup, you will learn a lot, and then probably like down the line after 4 years, 5 years, you will be able to connect the dot that what mistakes I have made during that time. So failures never afraid of getting failed. So I have a quote around this. So the strongest person in the world is not the one who have never fallen. The strongest person in the world who have never got afraid to get up again. Acha, this is very interesting. I'm not sure how much you know about this or not. So I always believe in this fact of turtle and giraffe theory. So, anyways, there are turtle and rabbit story as well. I'll not discuss about it, but there's a different theory around it. A turtle, a side of a turtle, they could only able to see probably like 5 centimeter to 10 centimeter maximum. Whenever you are building something, always think of long term. Just like tall head giraffe, you should see 10 feet ahead what you are doing, why you are doing, what you are doing it for. I think that's it from my side. Thank you. Thank you.